we're gonna go over Monday's footage. What's up, James? We're going over footage from this past Monday, and got a solid hour's worth. So let's get started.
So James and Brandon, and Austin and Caleb.
Yeah, are you and Steven behind the pillar now? In the very beginning?
No, that's Mitch and Steven.
Oh, okay. And Danny and Duncan front and center.
Mm-hmm.
Duncan just leaving his head too exposed.
Yeah.
Nice controlled, friendly sweep from Danny.
It was a nice pass by James. I don't know if you saw that
Did not.
on Brandon. His tight waist, so he sets it up like a heavy pass, or I'm sorry, a body lock pass.
Yeah, and Brandon's doing a good job. It looks like he's trying to just keep his foot sticky and attached to James's hips.
Mm-hmm.
James probably high legs over. Okay, yeah, he used his right hand to kind of peel the leg off and give him just enough time to circle around it. Caleb's getting triangle choked by Austin. Love to see it. Looks like Austin got the tap.
Yep. And Danny got, I believe, a Darce on Duncan. Maybe. Or they reset.
Oh yeah, I think they just got up against the wall.
Okay. Well, now it's the Darce. I know Danny was all on him.
We'll see. Oh yeah, he does get it.
Yep. They're like twinsies today, man. Look at that. Same rash guard, same ginger beard, everything. Yeah.
Same terrible haircut.
Yeah.
Same skinny calves. So what Duncan's doing, like, this is kind of I feel like he's stuck in half guard and doesn't really know what to do next, right?
Yep.
So let's see. So he keeps Danny's leg captured, and yeah, what he's doing with his left arm right now is just kind of leaving him vulnerable, right? Danny's got all the access he needs to set up the Kimura.
It is, and it's a shame because it's not a bad hand position if you do something with it, right? If he takes his right hand and blocks Danny's left knee and then gives a nice strong bridge into the armpit, he can create some space and regard, to get into a better guard position.
Yeah.
Or at best, he can take Danny over onto his back and get top half. But Danny is putting in the Darce choke.
Got him.
Really like that angle that was captured here on film, because you could really see how you tighten up the Darce, right, by bringing the hand up closer and higher onto the shoulder rather than low on the back. That's just a finishing detail that I know I didn't know until I started playing around with them, and then of course watching the Danaher DVDs on the front headlock strangles.
Yeah. Yeah,
His
pretty
left
much
hand.
placing your hand where your ear is.
Yep. It's crawling up, cinching it up, and then it's a bit.
Yeah, and I mean, Danny like never needs to do this because his darces are just kind of misery when you're in them. But I was talking about this. Who were we talking to? About the darce finish the other day.
Mitch. That was Mitch. It was later in this. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a good example of like, Danny's finishing on kind of off on the side of Duncan. Not wrong, not right. Just common finishing position for the darce. One thing I like to do is take my forehead to the mat and then kind of walk myself over into a mounted position, and then from there, as you start to like bring your chest down, like you don't even really need to go too far, and the amount of pressure is just like you can't handle it. Like it's just that much worse. A lot of people complain about the darce as like kind of being a crank too. Like it's 100% a strangle. You should be able to render someone unconscious with it. But if it's painful, that helps too. And if you get into that mount position and it's a strangle and it's a lot of pressure on the neck, you get the tap that much faster. Let's go back with James and Brandon here. Good adjustment from James.
Yep. Just circling around the body.
Yeah.
It was a good bridge. It was good on Brandon for getting it initiated. It's just James was ready for it.
Yeah.
Nice way to pop open the trap triangle.
Yeah, a lot going on.
Yeah,
So
he's going for another hidden arm.
Something, and he gets it. Over here with Caleb and Austin.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Caleb's attacking his armbar, and Austin, I mean, like we saw it a couple weeks ago. He's been defending these well, either in unique ways or just simple, effective ways. But like something I think Caleb can think about here, like he's kind of facing the wrong way if he wanted to. Let me think about this. He's got one leg across, one leg up and over. He's gonna have a hard time rolling Austin to his back for the armbar here. But I think he could get his bottom leg across. Like if he pulled the knee of his bottom leg towards his nose and then brought it over Austin's back, and Caleb himself got on his own back, I'm assuming his hand position it's either there or could easily be switched into like that cross Kimura position, right? Like what led me to this was that his legs could be used a lot more effectively here to extract the arm. If he's going for, he seems pretty dead set on like an arm attack. So just keep that in mind. Like anytime, I've said it before, anytime you can use the legs to extract, to help finish a sub, to extract a limb or whatever, use them. They're a lot stronger than your arms. So he's got a little head scissor or something on Austin.
He's grabbing the legs. That was actually a really nice turnover and good head switch. So he grabs the legs and flips him over. Watch this.
Yeah.
Boom.
Alternatively, I'm not saying that what he's doing is wrong, but alternatively, that right arm could also, I mean, he's got long limbs. Austin's not like
grab the tight
90
waist.
degrees. Yeah, he could reach up, grab a tight waist, and pull him over. Typically,
And if
I like to do that.
Yep. And I think what you're saying too goes like if he switches his leg position to where um I'll just say the one that was in front goes to the back, and the one that was in the back goes to the front. He winds up in that in an armbar straight away.
Yep. Either way, that's been a good battle.
It has.
Just kick him in the head.
Yeah, when in doubt.
Austin, it almost looks like you're employing your full body armbar defense again. Good sprawl from Brandon here. Looked like James was really doing what I've been begging guys to do lately, which is bug the legs, bug the base when you're an open guard. Shot it on that single, but just didn't have the positioning, I think, to prohibit the sprawl.
Hoping and praying. I hear that. Did they wind up? Who got the finish on that one?
I'm gonna assume Caleb.
Yep, Caleb. Yeah. Belly down on bar. And Brandon, when you sprawl out, I'd like to see you putting your toes on the mat, right? Like hips down, toes way out there. Nice heavy sprawls. The closer you bring your knees to James, the more access it gives him to your legs, for one, and for two, if he starts bull rushing and just like going straight into you, it's easy for you to lose your balance with your knees up, tight. So keep that in mind next time.
Yeah, it's also less weight that you're putting on his shoulders. If your knees are in contact with the ground, that's weight that isn't going onto your opponent. Yeah, now he's got your butt to your heels, so he can start to, start working around. Oop. We'll go up top. Danny's got a nice triangle on Duncan here. What happened with James and Brandon?
It was a nice UPA. Okay, I was there for that. I was watching. Well, obviously, I'm sitting right there. But I was watching it and trying to see how that was going to play out. It was a nice scramble that they go off screen.
Yeah.
But it actually winds up in a leg entanglement here. James goes in, winds up he goes for a knee bar, and I was worried.
Yeah.
And Brendan, calmly clears his knee and winds up getting back safe.
Nice.
But then he winds up coming in. I think James gets a guillotine choke.
Sorry, Caleb got another arm bar I was just going back to.
Yep.
Yeah. That dorsal Kimura position's working really well for him. He seems like he finds himself there a lot and wants to go to arm bars especially.
Yep.
Which definitely good. Something he could tighten up just to not that he's doing them poorly, but just find more ways to nice Kimura. Find more ways to take up the space as you make the transition around the arm. Applying pressure, applying control the whole way through, rather than quick, jumpy, spinny actions that just give the guy a chance to escape.
Yep.
Danny's throwing the kitchen sink at Duncan. I'm in a legs Americana, cranking on his neck.
And Kagetame.
There we go.
Nice.
Well,
James
what did
got
what
a
did James
guillotine.
get? A guillotine?
I think it was an arm-in guillotine, if I remember right.
Good first round. Really active.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
James wants your lunch money.
He does. Came at me. This was a fun run. Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, this is yeah. I was watching this on the side. You guys were getting after it. Oof, gave up the leg there.
Yeah.
Like the little moves like that. I mean, you basically isolated your own leg and put yourself into an ashigarami there. I mean, largely because Mike, like you didn't have Mike's back, right? He was kind of already escaping. Do it anyway. Make those little mistakes. Realize where they are mistakes. Like see how Mike just kind of scoops it and immediately captures, or at least starts to control your ankle. I felt like the only way to navigate leg entanglements early on, like when you and I started trying to learn them, was to just screw them up a million times.
Yep.
I mean, it's like any other move, but there's just something a little extra, more of a pain in the ass about learning like solid leg entanglements.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does a good job of clearing the knee line, so I wind up just trying to pull him back in.
You and me both, man.
Yep. What happened with Cole and Caleb?
Yeah. Caleb kind of got chicken winged there a little bit. You see
okay.
his Cole's got his like a same side grip on that arm, pops it right over the back, and I think Caleb just was tapping early
Being
before
careful.
that got cranked any further.
Smart.
James, I like what James is doing here. Like I'm assuming he's got his foot flat, the one you're attacking.
He does. Yep.
Right. So he's working to a more upright position, and when he feels like he's safe, he's starting to try to peel the legs open. Right. That's.
Yep.
Just again, even if it isn't successful, like the signs of perfect right there. It's the sign of getting more comfortable when you're getting your legs attacked, which is that's how all the escapes start.
Yeah, and he felt very strong in this position too. He has my he's switching back and forth for that arm trap. So when he's rolling, he's got me in like the anaconda roll. And for me, when I get stuck in those positions, I like to stay in a ball. It makes it easier for me to turn over when people have me in there.
Yeah, it just makes reguarding that much easier.
It does.
Like if you're on the defensive and like kind of, it's not even like I don't know what I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna ball up. It really is just like keep your knees to your chest, and a guy can't get a pin on you, or it's that much harder to get a pin. He's got to undo a lot more stuff.
Right. Yeah, so that was it was an interesting scramble what we just did, because he was trying to he came around my guard, and
further back.
I just so I think I sit back into a guard as he starts walking around, and I fling his body, like I use the hook to continue, and then as I start driving up, I just get up to my knees and essentially get like a mat return on him. And then as I'm walking around the body, I notice that his knees are pointing both in that direction. So I walked around to the other side.
Yeah.
I didn't feel very comfortable on the first round, so I'm having to I had to readjust. And then eventually I wound up cranking on the chin. I thought I was doing the mandible, but turns out I was being a jerk and
it's a fine
going
line
across the face. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's gonna happen either way. Like if you go for the mandible choke, you're gonna put some jaw pressure on.
Yep.
I'm just gonna go back. So Austin, this is a spot where I've been telling you guys to start bugging the base more, right? So that's, you know, you're getting. God, I wish you would have just pulled him down and taken his back right there. So this specific instance is a good spot where you can start working. Like you could go in on your X guard to try to open his the base of his feet up more. Just little thoughts there. If you don't have to, in general, if you don't have to fight from your back, don't fight from your back, right? Like I'll take a seated position over a supine position any day. And Steven's doing well to control legs and just walk around. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say same here. Like I obviously in right here's a good example. Like I'm on my back, but I'm already in an attacking position. So like I'm okay to play off my back here. But if I'm trying to initiate, I normally play off of my butt in the seated position.
Man, so this is like, for you, where was it? A couple frames back. This is one of those positions I want to, when I can train again, I want to work with getting the inside, like, split position, where you could actually get your foot inside James's leg and then extend his leg out so that it's hard to regard. Part of that, like, body lock stuff that Gordon was just putting out.
Yep. Yeah, I have not been able to. I haven't been able to figure it out, to be quite honest with you.
I mean, that probably wasn't exactly how that setup goes, because you didn't have like a body lock, you didn't have the tight waist or body lock. You were more of like a split squat position.
That reversal that James just got on me was pretty neat. The way that we're back here and he does the inside, like he takes my leg, and he'll hook it, I think, with his left leg. He hooks my right leg or my left leg with his left leg, and then he drives into my knee here. So see how his left leg comes behind mine, and then he'll continue to take me, like kind of like you would do an ankle or a knee pick, and just drives me back down to the mat there.
Yeah, I know Bertram really likes that as a like a wrestling up technique. Yeah, and what I really like about that is that the leg and the arm address both sides of your leg, right? Like his right leg is around and his left leg is around. It's almost the same kind of thing we talk about with the cross body lock, that like diagonal sort of control over a body.
Yep.
In a way, you kind of have diagonal wedges around the leg that really do a lot to immobilize it. And then with that, you can still easily, like his left knee's going to invert. You can still easily get up, right? You have 2 points of contact with the ground. It's basically like a technical lift at that point.
Mm-hmm.
He lost the leg when he pulled his leg through, but then he immediately captured it with the left arm. So yeah, that was solid. Duncan's getting brave, taking shots on Mitch.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Steven got a straight ankle on Austin there. Let's go back a little bit. Okay, cool. So looks like Austin's working his triangle, and Steven's working the defense of getting the legs crossed over the chest and straightening out. Once he breaks it, let's see what he does. Enters into...
Okay, so it's a crossbody.
He gets into like an... Yeah, it's like a 50... That's not really 50-50. He didn't have his other leg over.
Oh.
Basically like it was pretty much like a cross ashi, but not cross. I don't know what you'd call that. See, he's got his right leg reaping over, but his left leg isn't over to make it 50-50.
Right.
And he hits the straight ankle. That was nice.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Danny got an arm lock.
You had the nice reverse X guard cross ashi entrance. So Austin, this is kind of what I'm alluding to when I'm talking about X guard and reverse X guard stuff that you can do in that seated position. Let's see how you get there. All right, so James is down and you're working from him on the knees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to elevate here. See how I have my hands underneath his, like on his triceps? I'm trying to get into an inside, like a scooping position so that I can pull him on top of me and elevate.
Powerful 2-on-1.
Here. Yeah.
So yeah, right here, Mike, you go to grab his ankle, right? And like, how many times have we seen Austin working from a seated or supine position with a hand on the ankle? Right, and then he gets crowded and he ends up getting passed. So from here, I mean, you've gone all the way through. You don't even have a hand grip. You got like, the Pledge of Allegiance grip.
Yep.
All the way elbow deep. And then Austin, this is what I'm talking about. Like getting your legs inside his legs, and then you'll see in a second here. So right there, right into this X guard position where Mike can extend his own legs away, and what do you think is going to happen to James's base? It's going to get super wide, and he'll be much easier to put down. Right? That's one option. You could do an X guard sweep. Mike switches here to a reverse X guard, or oh no, wait, you're already in reverse X guard. My bad.
Yep.
Elevates. Let's just go over the finer points of this. Let's slow it down. So he gets James off balance, right? He's broken most of his contact with the ground from his legs. Gets James's hips over his head, and this is how you then enter into cross ashi from there, right? Which I remember you were going over that a couple weeks ago. James had some momentum, so you didn't sit him down the way it's often finished.
Yep.
But instead you just rolled over your right shoulder, which is why it's very important to know how to do a back roll. And then land in cross ashi. Right, so that's one example that you can use. Danny got 3 taps. I don't care about Danny. Danny's artificially inflating his score right now.
he follows us on Twitch, then we'll add 3.
He does. He's in the chat. He's just shy. I gave him his credit. I'm assuming he got 3 taps because Brandon said so. But yeah, I mean now you're just still working cross ashi, switching between double trouble and. Yeah, so I don't know if we've talked about it too much here. I'm sure we've gone over it in class. So this position, let's go back a little bit further. And we'll definitely go over this when we get to our 2-week sprint on leg locks, right? The position that you have James in, you hear referred to as double trouble, largely because you're controlling both legs, right? The primary leg is James's leg that is caught inside your legs, right? It's got a triangle locked around it. The secondary leg is the one that Mike has captured at the ankle. The reason you do that is like a lot of escapes for leg entanglements involve spinning out, right, and running away. Running man escapes, they're often called. James can only spin one way right now, and that's to his right, which he's done. Problem with that is Mike can just sit him right back down, which I'm pretty sure you do right here. Right? There's a lot of control at the hips. He can't spin the other way as long as Mike has control over the secondary leg. But where that's a problem for Mike is that it makes it harder for him to hit the finishing mechanics on the primary leg. So there's this like trade-off you have to do where you have to, shut down his escape, but work towards exposing the heel, or as I think you might do here, you can actually attack the secondary leg. Right. So yeah, you hit the cross side straight ankle, which this is like a favorite grip of mine. Like when you hit a normal straight ankle, let's just say you're attacking the guy's left leg with your right arm, right? From this cross ashi position, it's more advantageous, and like you get so much leverage out of using your left arm to attack the left leg, where you scoop underneath it and you kind of do this like rear naked choke grip. Exactly what Mike's doing here, but it's just hard to see since you guys are on that bottom leg. Let's see if I can isolate it, and then I'll stop talking and we'll go back to it. But yeah, you could tell it's not normally Mike would be hitting a straight ankle with his right arm. Instead, the left forearm is is the fulcrum. It's what's under the Achilles tendon on this. So a little cross grip that's really, really useful when you learn it. Cole just had a nice little body lock on watch Cole and Caleb up in the back here.
Okay.
It's a good body lock position, like a standing body lock. I think I was signaling to him to get down around the waist, but he was able to just take Caleb's head and shoulders far enough out over his base.
Yeah, he did like an outside reap with like a Koso Togari or whatever it's called. There.
Yep.
Boom. Yeah, I like that takedown. And then Cole, you can also, like, if you get down lower on the hips, you can use your head to drive your opponent over, right? So you'll get like a strong back arch. Because here you're using that trip in order to create like a torque on the body. But if you get lower, like what Matt was advising you to do, lower on the hips, your head can come in to the center of the chest and start driving in to get them back and off balance. And then normally you can have your way with them at that point too, like whether it's a rotation or just straight dump them back.
Yeah.
It's a very powerful spot.
Yeah, it's the Brook special.
Yep.
I think we've all been taken down by Brook with that one in the past.
Yep.
I think this is where you ankle pick James. As he like steps around. I caught it from the side. Maybe not.
He rolls me through again on this one. I'm trying to do sit out, but I can't.
Yeah, dude, look at those pythons he's got.
Yeah.
Can't sit out from those.
He's gonna roll me through here, I think.
Yeah, it looks like he's setting up. Yeah, he's blocking the elbow.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, right there.
Yep. And the only thing that I'm doing that's any different is that I ball up to try and use the momentum, so that I can continue the roll.
Yeah, and like, here's the thing. Like, it looks cool. It looks powerful. That little like gator roll. Problem is, this isn't wrestling, right? You'd get 2 points if this was freestyle wrestling on that. I think a better spot for you to chill is right here, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and I don't know if maybe you've gone over this with him, like the anaconda finish with your legs where you clear the arm. But that's typically, if I'm going to hit a roll through like that, I'm going to stop right here and use my legs, pull my legs up towards my head to try to clear the arm here, right? I would try to hook my leg under the elbow and then pull the arm up over the head to sink in my anaconda a bit further. Instead, you kind of roll through. You basically have gone through 360 degrees with no real positional advancement. And if that's a real explosive move, you may have, lost a bit of energy there. Nice. Steven just sees an ankle. And it's like, all right, that's mine now. Love it. Good round. Man, this was an active day.
Yeah, everybody was tired last night. I think largely because of Monday.
Yeah. That was some nice.
Oh yeah, they were 8-minute rounds. That's why. I forgot about that. Yeah,
that's right.
Good call.
So watch this with Steven and Caleb here.
Mm-hmm.
So again, Steven right on it, and Caleb, like, I would be a little concerned with going belly down, but Caleb's free foot position is not bad, right? It's right up on the hips or on the butt. Yep. So he could use his leg to extend and try to extract his leg. Typically, you tell white belts when they're first learning how to defend straight ankle locks, boot through, right? You don't want to pull the foot into position.
Yep.
One of those good general rules that sometimes you can break. And I've been caught here before too, so I'm not like advising that you roll to belly down and then try to like stomp on the guy's butt to escape. But sometimes, if you feel like that grip isn't full end game, he's got me dead to rights, you can extract your foot like that.
Austin, I don't know if you're in the chat or not,
Yeah,
or
he is.
if you're watching it later. Okay. But I'd like you to start thinking about, you know, when somebody's coming through to pass, right? So Duncan had you in a pretty strong side control, and you know, you're very active with your legs when you were in close guard. Of course, you know, as you were getting past, but then here, I want to see more knees to your chest, right? Like I want you to think about when you're in the you'll have this idea of like a danger zone, okay? Like, you know, shit, I'm getting my half guard passed, right? At that point in time, I want you to start thinking about knees to your chest and your elbows to your knees, right? So it's kind of like, you know, getting down into a ball, and creating, and what that does is it creates frames, right? They're not superficial. I mean, they're very strong frames. And here, your legs are extended away from your body, okay? And Duncan's doing a good job trying to bring your knees, you know, towards his side of your body. But it's still, you know, this is still kind of like a wild pass for him, in my opinion, right? And if you had your knees tucked in, you'd be able to recapture that leg and get into a half guard position, and then probably start attacking with triangles, right? So I'd like you to start thinking about bringing your knees to your chest when you're in these positions, and really sensing like that oh shit moment, right? Like, I'm about to get my guard passed for one, right? Let's not let that happen. And then for two, when I have my guard passed, I want to make sure that I'm in the best position possible to try to regard. I don't know, anything, Matt, on your side, like from what you're seeing?
Yeah, no, I mean that's I agree with all of it. That, like, one thing I feel like you're kind of setting up for it here. Maybe it's just because Duncan is really like pressuring heavy across your body. Honestly, right now, just looking at this freeze frame, it just occurred to me, you know, like planting your other foot. Right now, you've got your right foot planted. If you planted your left foot and just rolled hard this way, you might actually be able to roll Duncan over you. But let's see when you guys settle down a bit more. Maybe it's back a little further. So like right about in here, right? This is where you want to start focusing on your framing. Like, and I'm probably going to repeat a lot of stuff you just said, but the way I think about it is getting one frame in at a time and using that to help get your next frame in, right? It typically starts with either the elbow and the hip and getting it inside to frame the hips, or getting a forearm in front of the face and using that to break some of that chest-to-chest contact that he has. Once you do that, what you're doing here with planting your foot, what I want to see is you plant your foot, elevate your hips, shrimp your ass out this way, and that's where you can start to bring your knees in to make that side guard with your elbows, right? The knee in contact with the elbow on the inside of the knee, making that little V groove between your shin and your forearm. That's what's really, really difficult to pass. That's what makes it infuriating when you get past someone's half guard and suddenly they shrimp their butt out, they get their knee in, and now you've got this barrier in front of you, and you end up just getting put back in half guard or close guard or whatever. So just think about your regarding as kind of a step-by-step process of one frame, second frame, third frame, fourth frame, until you're in guard, right? Or ignore everything we just said and sweep Duncan over really easily. Let's see how you did that. Just a good Upa, right? So he's got,
it's a good Upa. He's got the trap. I love that.
Yep, trapped leg. That's the, like, one of the steps everybody forgets about the Upa, especially early on. I wouldn't consider Austin early on, so I wouldn't expect him to miss that. Yeah, I'm assuming he had Duncan's arm under control some way or another.
I think Duncan was hugging his head. I don't think he really had to get a whole lot of control over it.
Yeah. It is always nice when someone cross faces you and you can just kind of like weigh their arm down, and you don't have to reach up to try to control it.
Right. Let's see here. Nice trap. You're starting the elbow escape. Let's see how you finish, if you can finish it. Now it comes to...
Gotta elevate his knee.
Yep.
Remember, a good way to elevate the knee is to extend the leg that you're using to trap his leg. Extend it down. It'll get the knee off the mat. And then you can scoop your knee up underneath and capture his. Looks like you did it. Good stuff. You're in some danger here with back exposure. Looks like he's controlling your top arm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not opposed to what you're doing right now as far as just using the scorpion to get some of that pressure off from up top. Didn't see that he was fighting in Americana.
Americana, yeah. Duncan's definitely having trouble trying to get out of that the scorpion lock, the lockdown. And we went over this, Austin, a little bit afterward, right? When you get in that in the scorpion lock, what can you do from there? I think it was you that I was talking to about that. So I think we've shored that up. But yeah, that's right. You got to use that scorpion to get your hips up and shift. Nice. That was a nice regard. Yep. Okay, cool. Good job regarding. Top lock.
We're 50 minutes in to this stream. We have like 35 minutes of footage left. This has been a really active session.
Yeah, there's a lot to comment on. So what do we have? So Caleb beat the knee shield of Steven. It's really high up. We've got Austin, who's got a very nice trap triangle top block on Duncan. I don't know if he's fishing for the arm, if he has the arm.
Nice.
Nice.
That's close, man.
That is very close. He's opting for the triangle, maybe.
He almost did a mounted triangle. It looked like
yeah.
He's back in the mount. Yeah.
Shooting for the arm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you got the Kate Katame. Almost.
Nice. Good manipulation there.
There it is. There it is.
Forehead to the mat.
Yep. You got to get that forehead down so you can get underneath that shoulder.
And the hips are all on this side right now. You got to get your body all on this side. There you go.
He's got it.
Cool.
There you go.
Good
nice.
Finish.
Good finish. Duncan put up a hell of a fight, so he did.
Yeah, that was a really great match.
Proud of that. Yeah. Tweak the shoulder. So Caleb got past the guard. I'm not sure how he got past Steven's guard. So we're here.
I think he could have gotten past a lot earlier if you recognized his leg is basically free.
Yeah. Okay. So I think he was attacking.
Gave it up. Yeah.
Yeah, he was attacking the far arm. I don't know whether he was going for his Kimura on the far side or what.
Yeah.
And I think Steven had to address that. So. And Caleb's side control has become miserable to be in.
That's what everybody says. I'm looking forward to experiencing it.
Yeah.
It does seem like he spends a fair bit of time there on a lot of people.
Yep. He's going around. He's trying to isolate that far arm, and I really like what he's doing with the right knee. Is he's trying to hop up into that knee on belly position and put some even more pressure on Steven there to start throwing limbs out. But yeah. Steven's, reacting very well here, keeping calm.
Oh,
Jesus,
shit in
that
the
didn't
ribs.
feel good. I hope that was your good side, Steven.
And Austin, this is another opportunity to use your legs as butterfly hooks to disrupt his base, to shift his weight around. Right, right here, if that right leg of yours scooped underneath the knee, maybe this leg planting, like the bottom of your foot planting on this knee. I mean, you've already got a shallow underhook here. You have the makings of a sweep. It'll probably be a little bit extra work, but something to look for.
Just push on the knee. Yeah, if you even just push on the knee with your left, like you like to do, Matt.
Yeah.
Instead of having to extract it all the way.
That's a small man's game. Is foot on the knee, shove it out from underneath them. That way you're not trying to pull them up off of their base or anything. You're pretty much there, man. I mean,
you are.
Yeah. It just, you'll get quicker and quicker at taking advantage of them when you see them. I mean, just like that, case in point, right? Slow it down a little. Sitting to guard, I feel like Mike, you probably noticed. All right, perfect. Immediately, Mike is bugging Cole's base, right? He's not giving Cole a chance to back out and get set. He noticed that he was in a pretty square stance, so he goes for the double Kouchi, right? So Cole has to step back, right? He's just tracking. You slid underneath him. You got that butterfly hook like I was just talking about, up on the same side leg near the hip. Control the arm, up and over. Plant it off the mat, just a nice setup.
This was a tough roll. I hope Cole's not watching.
Yeah. I don't know. He does like looking at himself on screen, so.
I hear that.
Looks like he hit the same thing on you.
Man, that's a miserable position to be in, and Cole, this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about from standing as well, right? You did this to this, and I talk about this all the time when we're teaching, and I know I sound like a broken record here, but anything that you can do from a seated guard or from an open guard, you can do from standing and vice versa. So literally what he just took me down with is exactly what he took Caleb down with 2 rolls ago. So what he swept me with in an open guard, he took Caleb down with standing.
Yeah, the primary difference was he had an outside trip, whereas that on this sweep he had the inside butterfly position, but same exact body grip, all that seems to be working really well for him. What did Caleb just do? Looks like he.
I have no idea how he got that.
Kind of like a kind of a Tomonagi look. I don't know. I don't even know what you'd call that, because it wasn't a Tomonagi. It wasn't really a hook sweep or a sumigashi or anything.
Ooh. It was a very nice armbar by Caleb.
Nice.
The knee was turned out, which is a nice touch. We've been going over that. Rather than stomping the heel down to the mat for the finish, using a turned out knee towards the head.
Yeah, I think those 8-minute rounds were really taking their toll on people.
Yeah.
I know Cole was definitely huffing and puffing at the end of this one, but you guys were having a good like comp speed kind of round.
Mm-hmm. I felt like we were going the whole time.
I can't tell what Mitch is trying to set up. It's interesting. Go ahead.
Well, I thought I knew. Never mind.
I mean, watch, because it's like all right, he's going for an Americana, and then it's like, okay, no, he's going for like a Katagatame, and then he's like, psych, I'm gonna expose the back. A good illustration of just how easily those moves chain together.
Mm-hmm. Misery, yes. Yeah, that seems like it sums it up.
He just wanted Steven to know who the boss was. Yeah, so it looked like he didn't really have a good roadmap on what to finish there. So I feel like we could pick any one of those 3 options and tighten that up. And I would primarily focus on either the back take or the arm triangle over the Americana.
Okay, so Mitch is playing a closed guard. Okay, nice. Good for him. Changing things up.
Yeah, I feel like he just like he'll play that because he knows at almost any time he can just kind of take top position and keep a guy there. Yeah. But it's good. I mean, Mitch is so dominant as a wrestler that it's good to see him working from like getting comfortable in the back position. And he's trying real hard on the Katagatame now.
Mm-hmm. Cole does a really good job here.
I could see
shaking off the back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I could see some things to tighten up with Mitch for the head and arm, or the arm triangle rather. He was super close. There was no reason why he shouldn't have been able to finish that.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is awareness from the person on bottom. You could see that Steven's, very biased towards the arm that's getting ready to get trapped. So it's tough to get your head up underneath that shoulder when the person underneath is very aware. You have to pull some tricks out of the hat.
Yeah. I feel like you were just ripping Cole's arm off, trying to.
I'm trying. Like, he was not having it. I remember making eye contact with you, just being like, I have no idea how I couldn't get his arm. Like, I thought it was dead to rights.
Yeah, I mean, like, as you started to pull his shoulder up, he just planted his feet and took away every bit of elevation you got out of his shoulder line.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can tell he's tired here because he's just kind of accepting being on his back.
Mm-hmm.
Which, in general, I don't want to see. It's forgivable in the training room with I don't know what 4 8-minute rounds that have been done so far. Although
yeah,
you got to be able to go the whole time. But you guys were both also pretty high energy on that. Yeah, that was a solid Kimura.
Yeah, I was trying to get my elbow down to the mat, but it was tight before that.
Yeah.
Jesus. So this was that was the thing that completely threw me off. When I look at it now, I'm like, oh shit, I had that wide open the whole time.
Watch. I missed it.
So I come over here, he flings me over top.
Hold on.
And then he gets...
See this slow.
Yeah, so he gets like a far lat grip on me, like under my armpit. He just chucks me right over.
Yes, I mean... Oh, I see what you mean. This arm of his was up over, way up over. Yeah, and I mean, I guess you're driving like in this direction.
Yeah, you see how my knee is trying to cut across? I'm like, oh yeah, I got a mount here. You know what I mean? Like I'm
exactly.
Yeah.
And then he must, I guess, what does he frame? Yeah, he frames your hips. That's something Cole does like really well. Is just hand to the hip, and he uses that a lot. I don't know, I don't know if that's tiring on his arms at all.
Right.
But man,
keep it here.
Huh?
Keep it here and finish your thought. This is just a good frame.
Oh, I was gonna say when he wants to send you with that hand to hip connection, he's normally really good at it.
Yep. Okay, so like when we talk about the sumigeshis and we talk about like the table and all the bullshit that we say, right? Like, you got 4 legs of the stool or four legs of the table, and then for the sumigeshis or the sweeps and whatnot, we want to take away, one of the points of contact, and we want to take advantage of that. But then there are also times where you have like your opponent starts to sense that they're going over in the wrong direction, so they base out, right? I was able to extract my arm, and I was able to put my hand on the mat. Now, instead of Cole continuing to turn to the right side of his body, or even over my shoulder per se, like right there, right? If he were to go at a 30-ish degree angle, it still wouldn't work. I had a decent base. Instead, he takes me right overhead.
Yep.
And is able to elevate me that way. This is the kind of stuff that we talk about. Like, when you have your opponent with their weight way above you, you should be able to pick and choose the direction that they fall in order to take advantage of their lack of base in some direction. So he gets my hips way up high, right? He doesn't continue to take me over towards where I've already based out. So he takes me over top of my shoulder directly, or even overhead. You can see it.
Yeah, and like an interesting point I noticed as you were talking, like talking about the 4 legs of the table. You typically take one out, you push in that direction. This is very much an inverse of that, where he's taken out 3 legs of the table because your right arm is doing nothing as a base, and your feet, your knees not in contact with the ground. You literally have 1 point of contact with the ground at this point, and maybe until your head contacts, but like at that point it's omnidirectional, right? Like
that's right.
I shouldn't say omnidirectional. It's taking them up overhead is definitely the best way to go in this case. But yeah, he's almost completely severed your entire contact with the ground on that sweep.
That's right.
That look cool.
He just flips the whole table. Yeah, exactly.
And then he cramps.
He cramped up. I won by cramp.
Skip ahead. I'm gonna try and catch some good parts before this turns into a 2-hour stream. recover that takedown. I feel like you were pretty close to getting rolled over on that, and just your lower body grips definitely saved you. What did Steven do there?
Looked like he got Brandon turning in just an awkward position and then got to that arm. Yeah.
Yeah, and that looks like I don't know, Brandon. I think when you get armbarred, if maybe a few dozen more times as it happens, you'll get a feel for which ways you can run, which ways you can rotate out, what you can do with your free hand as far as like getting Steven's legs off of you. Right, that cross facing leg right now is where a lot of this control is coming from. But that'll just take some practice.
So here I know, like I was talking to Caleb after this happened. But yeah, like I'm obviously, I haven't gotten my hook in. I'm working on getting my second hook in now. And we always talk about like getting to a hip and trying to get the person over. And with Caleb, like I just know that as soon as if I get him over onto the hip, it ain't gonna happen. Like he's gonna smash my hips down and escape. So I actually opt to just sprawl him out onto the floor. Like, so I extended my legs and was able to get him flat on his belly and finish the choke from there.
Nice. How did you guys get there?
We were seated and then he went in for a body lock.
Just went into like a clamp position.
Yeah, and I got a shoulder. I got a shoulder something on this one. I basically clamped down with my knees really tight, almost like I was gonna go for the like a reverse triangle or a rear triangle rather. Yep. And I started extending on the arm because I felt like it was in an awkward spot.
Oh yeah.
Getting a tap here.
Okay, Steven just got up.
It was getting slippery too. Some of this was people slipping and sliding around on the mats.
Sure. Let's go ahead. It's a lot of side control. So you went for your dorsal. Nice. Really nice. That was great. So you set up for you do your annoying north-south garbage. You set up your attempt on the Kimura. Caleb smartly, quickly rolled with it. Immediately went in on a single, drove you back down.
Yep.
I'm like, the fact that he stayed on that single was really good, as long as he did, until he could control. I like that looks like he's starting to go the other way. Foot pummeling. Awesome.
Yep. He's very
awesome.
Yep.
Yep. Good. Oh, man. I think if he had been a bit quicker on that transition through, that would have done it. That was great.
Yeah.
Really, really great.
We've been working on it. He's been working on guard passing in general. We were talking about like the windshield wipering and the replacing of the legs the past couple of weeks.
Yeah. You start taking more notes about when y'all do cool stuff in this. So you clip it and exploit your talents on Instagram.
This was a battle between Steven and Cole.
Well, don't hate me for fast forwarding through it, boys.
Yeah, I mean, it was a large smash battle.
That's a good example of who wins the scramble by hip height, right? Cole starts to take it. Steven ends up taking it over and just puts Cole on his back. Let's keep going. Yeah, they're both just like continually sweeping. Like someone gets on their back and about 30 seconds later they just switch.
Yep. That was a nice snatch on the head.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that from that position.
Yeah.
Kind of wish he would have got up, got his hips, like you were talking about before, hip height.
Yeah.
Wasn't necessarily there here, right? See how Cole lets his hips go down. Like he's not going to pull guard into the guillotine from that angle. I don't feel like.
Yeah.
You know, but he should have stayed on the head here if possible.
Yeah, and here's the other thing I think he gets a little sloppy with, and maybe more so when he's tired, is he pretty much just drives forward, right? And especially with Steven having inside leg position here, it's a recipe for disaster, regardless of his headlock control, right? Because Steven can just elevate, and what does he do? He ends up taking him over. But if he took that time to slow down, you know, one thing you could always do with a headlock, at least against a seated opponent, you know, if Cole sat back this way a bit, right, maybe worked from his feet, you know, in kind of like a squatted position, he can, if he brings Steven's head over his own feet or knees, it makes his legs much more immobile, whereas Cole still has his mobility to cut angles, right? So he can start to walk around the side, start to flank Steven, and Steven's gonna have a much harder time catching up with him if Cole can start to slow down his legs a bit, right? And it really is, it almost looks like magic. I know I do it when I demonstrate open guard passing, but pulling the head out over the legs makes it really hard for the guy to move side to side and to rotate. Doing a good job riding up high. Muffler. Steven learned he could muffler in this tournament, and he's been doing it to everybody. He was suffocating Caleb. I don't know if it was this past Monday or not, but it may have been over the weekend. I don't know. It was hilarious. I think that was Sunday, maybe. Which I don't have footage of, and it's probably for the best. I feel like you finally got the arm extended. Alright, who do we have for the last roll? Danny and Caleb. Looks like you and Steven, I think.
Me and Steven, yeah. Yeah, this was the one, man, I wish we would have caught the tail end is right behind that freaking pillar. There's so much going on as soon as we go behind the pillar.
Oh, Danny, nice sweep.
Nice.
That was just a well-timed off-balancing, right? I mean, yeah. And then staying committed to getting the hip height.
Yep.
Danny's scrappy in those strange positions.
Yeah, so he's a crucifix position here.
Yeah.
And oh, is it? I can't tell his leg configuration.
Were you thinking he was going for like the armbar with the legs?
Yeah, I feel like he has it with that right. It's his left over his right leg. You know, like I guess his right leg is the one trapping the arm. I feel like if he extends his legs away, he does have the armbar with the legs.
Yeah. I'll go back. You and Steven.
Yep.
Get over here. Yeah, Danny might have that. It's just hard to say. We can't really see Caleb's arm, whichever way it's rotated.
Mm-hmm.
I like what Steven's doing, switching into like an X guard.
Yep.
Or a reverse X guard coming up on the sweep. Nice.
I like. So that felt terrible, what he did there. That was like, it felt really bad on my knee.
Well, let's watch it again.
Yeah. He
This is great.
Scoops it up here, and then he just does a really nice job of coming over top of my knee and just walking up and putting me down on my butt.
Yeah.
Beautiful sweep.
I like the grip switch here. It's this tells me that he's decided he's going for the sweep, right? He's not going for a leg entanglement to immediately attack, right? Exactly. He hoists it up onto his shoulders. I mean, everything about this, you're completely broken down. You're totally on the defensive right now.
Mm-hmm.
And with you sitting over your heel like that, I think he recognizes he can just lean forward, sit up, controls the leg the whole way through. That was awesome. I think Danny about heel hooked Caleb there. Caleb tapped early. I'm waiting for you guys to like do something awesome and then immediately get cut off by the pillar.
That's this right here. So we're going in. I think I'm trying to do a stack pass on him. And then this is where all the calamity ensues. I wind up passing. Coming up, I think I take the back in some weird way and wind up locking in. I get a triangle, which I thought was right there for the finish, but he wasn't having it.
Like a rear triangle?
A rear triangle, yeah.
Gotcha. All right, well.
That's pretty much the end of it.
Take your word for it.
But he gets out of it and then takes my back. and then winds up damn near breaking my arm.
Good level change. Good quick level change.
That was very nice.
I like the whole, I don't know, the setup to this is like, it's well baited, I feel. Well, not even baited, like it's just well done. Caleb's leaning, you can tell he's leaning heavy into Danny. Danny's, you know, pushing against Caleb's push. Danny goes up high. Let's see that slow. Caleb immediately sees the opportunity.
Goes in for the leg.
Takes off the ground, cuts the corner. Awesome. Danny's making a good safe reaction out of it, right?
Yep.
Yeah. That was good. Good from both of them.
Very nice.
Great recovery.
Does he get the Darst? Not yet.
Danny doing everything he can with every ounce of body weight to keep Caleb from turning back over. I know the feeling.
Is he on the head? Yep.
Yep.
He's on the neck. Yep.
Can't tell if he's got, looks like he's got a completed grip. I wouldn't expect him to bend up like that if he didn't, but probably just wasn't enough.
Caleb addressed it and wound up getting out.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Man, you guys brought the heat.
That was a fun night.
Hell yeah. All right, cool. Good stuff, everyone. That was really great. Hope you guys got a lot out of that one. That was definitely rich with good footage. If we got anybody in the chat who's not following us, click the follow button. It helps us out a lot. Thanks a lot, Brandon. If you're coming in after this, you can catch us on YouTube. It'll be up there tomorrow or the day after. Yeah, that one, I'm kind of bummed things
really
like that make me like rethink our camera placement, but like there's always going to be one blind spot, and the best rolls are always going to end up happening there. So I don't know. We also get the blind spot right underneath the camera, which sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. We could play around with it another time. But yeah, you could support us at coffee.com/mobjj. Hit the follow button, subscribe on YouTube, all that fun stuff. What else? We got competition class, I believe, on Saturday. So stick around for that. We got a lot of rules and stuff to go over, so make sure you're there if you're interested in competing. What else? Anything else? I think we're good.
Anything else? Don't be stinky. Do your laundry.
Yep. Other than that, we'll see you guys soon. No stream on Sunday because of the Super Bowl. So we will see you guys in a week. And yeah, keep bringing the heat. Good matches today.
Bring questions to class too. We'll definitely go over them. We're normally there every night, so.
All right, take it easy, guys.
Pretty much. Later.